Hey, I'm back. I went and messed around in the creative world, and I think I know how I want the roof to look. Damn, I have a lot of oak saplings. I do not need that many. I'm just going to throw them over here for now. And then I logged onto the world, and I realized I have all these fences because I'm going to the village to put more fences. I went to work today, and again, I closed alone. It was Friday. Oh my god, I hated it. My manager was like, "Oh, look at the peaceful music." The game was like, "Hey man, that's all right. You're home now." My manager came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm chilling." And he goes, "You closing alone again?" And I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "Are you gonna complain again?" And I was like, I really want to, but I didn't. At least not very much. I still express that I don't like closing alone, but I did not give him that hard of a time about it this time around. This tree's getting chopped. And so, whatever, we close at 2 in the morning. It's midnight. My pre-closer goes home at midnight. And I'm sitting there, I'm doing my thing, whatever. Honestly, not a bad day, right? People were relatively nice to me today. The first, customer I helped tipped me for literally no reason. I didn't do anything. He just felt like tipping me. It's cool, whatever. And I'm ahead of schedule. I'm really happy about it. I'm gonna go like that. This is how they're getting out, because you can just fucking walk out like that. So I'm ahead of schedule and everything. And it's 1:57. 3 minutes until we close. And this lady, oh my god, she throws up all over the bowling lane. Not over the bowling lane, but over the ground next to the bowling lane. And I didn't notice. Her friend walked up and was like, "Hey, you think we could get some napkins or something?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, if you guys just spilled a drink, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And she was like, "No, my friend threw up." And I'm like, "Brother, you guys look like you're in your late 20s to 30s. How the fuck are you going out and throwing up in public? That is embarrassing and disgraceful." And so whatever, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I mean," I was like, "I can give you a rag or something if you guys want to help clean it up, but again, I'll take care of it. It's kind of my job." And she was like, "Okay, yeah, if we could get some rags, that'd be cool." And I was like, "Yeah." And so I grabbed him a couple of rags, and they start trying to sop it up and everything. And at this point, I'm still doing my normal closing duties. I don't want to interact with them. I'm gonna have to clean up this throw up when they're gone. I don't want to interact with them. And so I'm choosing not to. I'm doing my other closing duties, and then they come up to me. And this guy, who's also really fucking drunk. The only person that wasn't drunk was the initial girl that walked up to me. Everybody else is fucking wasted. Not what you want to deal with when you're handling somebody who threw up everywhere. And I know what you're saying, right? Why didn't you cut them off? That's not my job. That is my bartender's job. That is our server's job. That is the people who are giving them their drinks. That is their responsibility to know when to cut somebody off. I simply give them a bowling lane. Anyways, the guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, so when is it acceptable for us to leave?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, when do you want us to leave? And I was like, I want you to leave like 20 minutes ago. And he's like, well, okay, but like, when do you want us to like be out of here? And I was like, now. I want you guys to leave now. I don't know why you're still here. And he's like, okay, but like, so, because we're cleaning it up. And I was like, and I don't want you to do that. I'm going to go clean it up. And he's like, yeah, but like, like we made the mess. And I'm like, right. And I get paid minimum wage to do this. So, and he's like, so like, when is it acceptable? Like, do you want us to clean all of it up? And I was like, no, man, I just want you to leave. I want you to go home. It's now 2:02 in the morning. We closed at 2. I want you out of my store. And he's like, so you just want us to leave? And I was like, yeah, man. So I could clean up the vomit. So I could go home and eat my fucking dinner. And he was like, damn, bro, he snuck his ass in here. And he was like, okay, so like, you just want us to go? And I'm like, yes, dude, I'm not going to repeat myself again. I just get out of here. Go home. And he's like, all right, well, you know, well, we cleaned up as much as we could. And I was like, that's fine. Can you please just leave? And he's like, yeah, no, we'll get out of here. Okay. Do you want us to leave the rags on the ground? Or do you want us to put them on the table? Do I want you to get the vomit-soaked rags and put them on my table? Like, bro, I don't give a shit how drunk you are. You have to be genuinely, like, you know, it's YouTube, so I'm not going to say the R word, but you got to be the R word, you know? If you're genuinely going to look at me and be like, you want me to put these vomit-soaked rags on the table? Brother, what are we doing here? What the hell are you even talking about to me right now? So, you know, and then she stands up, and you know, it's the entire time that girl who threw up was sitting down on the couch, and I knew the second she stood up, she was gonna throw up again, and I didn't do anything about it. I don't know why I didn't do it. It wasn't like me being stubborn or anything. I knew I didn't think to do anything preventative, even though I knew it was going to happen. And so he's like, yeah, man, he just wants us to leave. He just wants us to leave. And the sober girl's like, you know, so fucking embarrassed. She's like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And she picked up on the hint where I didn't want to talk to them. She about like, after speaking to me, like, I don't know, 3 times, she was like, okay, I'm going to leave you alone now. You know, it's customer service. I'm maintaining a good attitude with them, but like, I don't want to talk to you guys. I'm not going to be overtly friendly because you threw up on my floor and now I have to clean it up. Not only did you throw up on my floor, you threw up on my floor 3 minutes before I was ready to close. Like, I was going to be the first person going home tonight because I was so ahead on my tasks. And now I have to clean up vomit that an adult caused on my floor. A fully grown woman did that. And so, you know, she picked up on the fact that I wasn't too keen on speaking to them. She stopped talking to me, but you could tell that she was so embarrassed. And so they get her up and they start walking out. Oh my God. And my manager walks out and he sees her and she just starts vomiting everywhere. Like genuinely, I've never seen projectile vomit before in my life. Projectile vomit everywhere. And he looks at me and he makes like a cringe face, you know, like he's cringing at how much fucking vomit is coming out of her mouth. And he just shakes his head. And I was like, oh, brother. And they're like, oh man, can we get a cup of water? I was like, I'm not giving you a cup of water. I gave him a trash bag. I said, can you not throw up on my floor? Like, what do you mean get me a cup of water? I'm not giving you water. Get the hell out of my store. Go throw up on the concrete outside. Ugh. So I had to go clean all that shit up. My manager is standing there. He's like, yeah, man. You know, just mop it up. You know, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. You don't want me to like use a broom or anything for like the chunks? I'm sorry if that grosses you guys out. Imagine how I felt. And he's like, no, because then you're gonna have to clean the broom, and I don't want you to have to clean the broom. Just mop it up, and whatever you don't get, you know, the cleaning crew will get it in the morning. And I was like, all right, for sure. I got up all the liquid, you know, and whatever chunks I could with the fucking thing with the mop. And my manager's sitting there and he's like, well, you know, it's a good thing that like our mop solution smells so strong because you can't really smell the vomit. And I was like, you can't smell the vomit? And he's like, I'm trying to be optimistic. And I was like, yeah, I can still smell the vomit, man. It smells god awful. Optimistic. That's not optimistic. That's being fucking naive. You know? Yeah, that was... That's how my night ended. It's whatever, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Be mad about that? Happened. And now I'm not dealing with it. Now I'm at home playing Minecraft. It's one of those things where it's like, it is so inconvenient and so, like... It's comical, really. The fact that it happened within 3 minutes of me about to close the store. I started laughing, you know, because and the fact that they wouldn't get out of my damn store. That security walked by and they were like, "Hey guys, you just need to leave at this point. Like, it's late. Get out of here." And they're like, "Oh yeah, well we're just like finishing up." And they're like, "Nah, like you guys just need to leave. Like we don't want you guys in here." I don't know what the hell their problem was. Yeah. I like posted about it on my fucking Instagram story. I was like, ain't no way this woman just threw up on my floor 3 minutes before closing. And my manager swipes up on that and just goes, LOL. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, man. Ugh. I mean, it's fine, you know. Whatever, right? It's one of those... It's just... Because, you know, I go out in public and I drink alcohol. I'm an adult who likes to drink alcohol with my friends. And, in fact, I'm going out tomorrow to drink with my friends. Like... Yeah, cut copper. And then I'm going to need a bunch of fucking stairs. I'm going to need... Oh my god, I am going to need so much more copper. What the hell? I've never built with copper before. This is such an expensive resource. Alright, let's go hit the mines. Wow. Do I really want the roof to be copper? Part of it is going to be like trimmed with the warped wood, the blue wood from the nether. Because I want it to be the green copper, not the orange copper. Oxidized copper. Sorry, nerds. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, my manager swipes up and he just says LOL with a laughing emoji. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you. He comes out and he's like, she vomited on lane 5, and I was like, yeah, and in the walkway. And he's like, and you know, he's sitting there, he's gagging the entire time. He's gagging for like, I don't know, 10 minutes straight. And I was like, if you throw up, I'm not cleaning it up. He's like, I might. And I was like, do it in a fucking trash can. You're not drunk. You should be able to make it to a trash can, man. He didn't throw up. But I guess he's like super sensitive to even the sight of it. sensitive to the thought of it, you know. The second I like radioed, I was like, "Hey man, this lady just threw up on the lane." He was like, "I don't want to deal with it," and I was like, oh, "God, I do not get paid enough to deal with it." But I wanted to go home, so I did. Sucks that I work with managers that don't like to, you know. And, you know, the other manager who was closing with us, we didn't get along up until recently. I think recently he kind of realized that I put up with a lot of bullshit from the company and from the management team. And I do complain, but at the end of the day, I get my shit done. And I do a much better job than most of the other people there. So I think he's kind of realized, like, not to be a dick to me. And so, you know, tonight and last Friday, you know, I was behind last Friday for a different reason. I don't remember what. Honestly, it might have just been my lack of time management. But last Friday he helped me out a lot in my like closing task, and then today he did all the stuff that I wasn't able to do because of, you know, me cleaning up somebody else's vomit, and a grown woman, a fully grown woman's vomit. These guys were so... They like came up... This doesn't happen super often, but when it does, I'm like, God, you are just a fucking idiot, aren't you? They come up, right, so they purchase a lane. We close at 2 a.m. The minimum time you could purchase a lane for is 1 hour. After that, you can purchase within 30-minute increments. They got an hour and a half. Hello, sir. And when we close at 2, right, since we can only sell the lanes an hour, at the minimum an hour, we stop selling lanes at 1. They purchased the lane for an hour and a half at 12:20. They got about 10 minutes to check in, which is fine. You can do that in 2 minutes. They got about 10 minutes to come up to me and check in order to get their full hour and a half. Otherwise, it's going to be a whole thing. I'm going to have to refund them the 30 minutes and then give them the hour. And they're going to be like, well, why can't I just bowl for an hour and a half? And I'm like, because I'm not staying extra late for you guys. You know, you're going to make our entire crew stay extra late. We're just going to refund you the $30 because you're stupid. Anyways. Bought the lane for an hour and a half. I send them a text message, right? Because when you buy it at like a self-service area, and then I send a text message. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Such a terrible system. So they buy it at a self-service station. I send them a text when their lane is ready. I sent them a text immediately because the lane was ready, and I, you know, wanted to get home. So I'm trying to get them out ASAP. And the best way to do that is by getting them on their lane ASAP. And so I send them that text, right? They do not show up until 12:45. And they're like, hey, is my lane ready yet? Because, like, I've been waiting a while, and we're afraid that we're not going to be able to get our full time. And I was like, well, you're not going to be able to get your full time because you paid for an hour and a half. And, yeah, your lane has been ready since the time you purchased it. And they were like, well, why weren't we, like, notified of that? And I was like, I actually sent you 2 text messages. And they're like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, okay, then you put the wrong phone number. I don't know what to tell you. Because I can show you right here. And then I, like, turn the monitor around. It's like a monitor, you know, rotates 180 degrees. I turn the monitor around. And I go, so you can see right here, I sent you 2 text messages. And they're like, oh, okay, well, can I, like, get a refund for the 30 minutes? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. They're fucking wasted at this point, you know? It wasn't even, like, after they started bowling. They were wasted before bowling. And then they decided to keep getting beers. The guy that wasn't wasted kept getting everyone else beers. That's why our bartender didn't cut them off, because he didn't see how fucked up those guys were. And so... yeah, it's a mess. And then they're like... My manager's from Texas. And so he's playing this fucking yee-ass cowboy music. Brother, man, it is 1 in the morning. Nobody wants to be listening to cowboy music at 1 in the morning. All the people who are here right now are drunk and they want to listen to club music. It's what we do every night. We listen to club music because at the end of the night, the only people left are the drunk people, and that's what they want to listen to. And so, you know, I have them come up to me 2 separate times, and they're like, hey, can you guys, like, change the music? Like, this is kind of killing the vibe. Now, you know, on the inside, I'm like, good, let it kill the vibe. Get the hell out of my freaking store. Please go home. Dude, sometimes people come in and they have... I'm not going to keep these gold armor pieces. What am I doing? People come into the store and they have like a 4-year-old child. Some of them literally have an infant with them. And it's like 1 in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing here with this child? Anyways, that's aside the point. I was saying something about... Oh, yeah. So they come up to me and they're like, hey, you know, like, can you change the music? And I'm like, oh, I don't really have control over the music. And they're like, well, can you talk to your manager about it or something? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I go and talk to my manager. I tell him, like, hey, man, they want, like, club music. And he goes, this ain't a club. Is that what you want me to tell them? You want me to go up to this group right now of a bunch of drunk adults? And, you know, I understand that it's a little redundant to say drunk adults, right? You're like, what else are they going to be, minors? No, but, you know, if they're like 20, if they're like 21 to like 25, 25 is pushing it. But like if they're new to drinking in public, at least, not that it gives them a pass, but it's a little bit more understandable as to why the hell they're wasted in my store. I should grab more furnaces so that this doesn't take for years. Anyways, he's like, it doesn't matter because we're closing soon, so I'm going to put on all the closing music. Fair. Whatever. Need smooth stone. I don't think I have smooth stone. So, you know, well, and then she comes up to me again because, again, we're not putting club music on. Now it's just like closing music. So it's songs like It's Closing Time, a bunch of others, Get the Fuck Out of Here, stuff like that. And she comes up and she's like, hey, so like, I want to listen to some like ratchet shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. And she's like, well, it's just like, and then her boyfriend cuts in. There's 4 of them total. Her boyfriend cuts in and he goes, man, I just got back to California. And I was like, all right. And he's like, well, I don't get to see her that often, you know? And I'm like, okay. And he says, she just wants to like see me get down and dirty, you know? And I was like, at a children's entertainment center. And he's like, well, you know, there ain't any kids around here. It's just us, man. And we're trying to have fun. And I was like, yeah, I can't do anything for you guys. Like, what do you expect out of me? You want me to go and change the fucking radio and get a write-up by my you know, manager? I'm not going to go do that. I'm not going to go be combative with the man. I hardly like interacting with him as is. It's just crazy stuff. Day in a life as a customer service worker, right? And you know, it's the same as any other store. You hear one customer service story, you've heard them all. Anyways, that's probably where I'll end the episode. I'll wait for all this copper to smell. I'm probably going to have to go get more if we're being honest with each other. This is all I have. It's honestly not that much. Looking at it. Alright, I don't need this much smooth stone. And we're going to grab this. You guys ever watch Key and Peele? I love that show. Alright. That's it. I don't know. I guess I'll smelt this stuff off camera. And I will see you guys when that happens. I realized that I should be doing this. This is so much smarter. This is what smart people do. Oops. I'll fix it. Oh. All right. Later.